Bomber Command are out in great force.
One of the targets for Allied bombers in the Second World War was oil refineries. Take one out and you slowed down the Nazi war machine. Some of the most important facilities and the most protected were in the heart of Germany. That took Allied bombers over the village of Auerstedt. All these decades later, there is a grave in the local cemetery. The tombstone reads simply, "An unknown American soldier killed in March 1945. Well, researcher René Schutz says that engraving doesn't add up. Schutz is with a group that studies crash sites in central Germany. They focus on one project each year. This year, it's been that grave. According to witnesses, and there is one still alive, the body that was buried was a man who jumped out of a Lancaster bomber. His parachute didn't open. There are parts of that plane at the crash site outside town. Parts, Schutz says, prove the aircraft was a Lancaster. The problem is, Americans didn't fly that plane. Because of the date of the crash and the location, Schutz came up with a theory. He believed the body was likely Canadian. Well, with permission from local authorities, his group dug up the grave earlier this spring. Not only did they find a complete skeleton, they also found a box. Inside were more human remains. Schutz believes locals collected the remains of the rest of the crew from the crash site and buried them in the grave. Now, they also found what may be an important clue. Canadian airmen wore identity discs, kind of the dog tags of their day. Well, Schutz's team recovered what appears to be a part of a disc with 3 letters, CAN for Canada. Schutz says it was emotional for his team, finding what may be evidence to help prove his theory. German authorities now have the remains and will do the initial testing. They've notified the Commonwealth Graves Commission, but Ottawa hasn't been brought in as of yet. Well, military historian David O'Keefe says it's still early, but could be good news.
Well, if all the evidence is there and it does conclusively prove that this was the aircraft, this is huge. And not just for Canadians and for Canadian history, but think about the families.
Schutz does believe he knows which aircraft and crew he's found. Based on the location and the date, there is one that fits the bill, officially classified as lost without a trace. He's holding back, announcing which crew he thinks he's found. The men have descendants spread out across Canada. And Schutz says he wants to make sure he's right before they're told. Mike Armstrong, Global News, Montreal.